Well, Father Dragus, who was a leading figure at the seminary, went to his friend in Athens, Father Vivas, and got a canonical opinion which said that the metropolitans were doing this for their own benefit, and that no bishop shall be allowed to do such a thing. If anyone shall attempt to do so, he shall forfeit his own rank. So we weren't even permitted to discuss this issue at the Clergy Lady Congress. And as Metropolitan Isaiah said in the plenary session, well, we got the answer before we asked the question. Now this is very demeaning, very degrading to our metropolitans, to our entire church.
Judge Angelides, your organization has been in existence for about a year now, right, since 1997.
Right.
Have you tried to communicate? Have you requested a meeting with the Archbishop to sit down and discuss and hopefully resolve all these problems?
We have. We've tried to meet with both the Archbishop and the Patriarch. The Archbishop has offered us a meeting of sorts, a day-long meeting, to meet with a number of different groups, archons, judges, a number of different lay groups, and then he would come in at the end for a short while. That's not what we wanted. We want to meet with him. We don't have any problem with the archons or with the judges or with the lay groups. We wanted to meet privately with him, and we've tried twice to accomplish a private meeting, and he's been unwilling to agree to a private meeting.
Right.
We tried to meet with the Patriarch when he was here, and of course he's very busy, but he could have spared half an hour to meet with us, and we got the same answer that he's been giving since his trip last November, which was, last fall it was, which was, if anybody wants to meet with me, they can come to Constantinople.
Interesting though, because in the last interview that the Archbishop gave to the Orthodox Observer, answering the same question, he mentioned, quote, "As Archbishop for all the Greek Orthodox in America, my office door is always open to people of good faith and goodwill. I'm sincerely sorry that the members of GOL did not take advantage of the opportunity to dialogue, so I have invited them again and do hope they will respond." So we don't know what's what. He has a certain opinion and you guys have a different one, but do you believe that dialogue and meeting face-to-face and explaining your concerns may solve this crisis?
Well, we very much want to do that. I don't know whether it's going to solve the crisis at this point. From the experience I had at the Clergy Lady Congress, unfortunately, the Archbishop and his actions have polarized this church. We have really two different views on a very basic issue, and it's a question of whether people do have the right to express differences of opinion, or whether we are going to have a church of blind loyalty and blind obedience. And that's a very difficult issue. It's a moral issue, a theological issue. And the Archbishop and his supporters seem to have taken their position on that issue. GOL's position is that all points of view should be represented. GOL sponsors Voithia, the internet website, and we publish all points of view. Every harsh, critical letter we get, we publish it. The Orthodox Observer publishes one point of view, and that's a difference of opinion. Of course we want to try and talk, but I don't know if we'll be able to get over that problem.
Do you think that this problem, this kind of division or crisis would help our church at this point?
Oh no, it's the last thing we need. We're small enough as it is, and we certainly don't need this kind of division. The Archbishop Iakovos' parting words were, "I left you with a united archdiocese." And now look what's happened in just 2 years.
Now, Judge, some of your critics say that many members of GOL are very close to former Archbishop Iakovos. And what do you have to say about that?
I can only speak for myself. I've only met the man from a distance at banquets when he was speaking, and I thought he was a very impressive and imposing figure, but I was not close to him at all. I've gotten involved because of what happened at our local parish here, what happened to our priest when he spoke up against the firing of these priests at the seminary. And as far as I'm concerned, the man is retired. He should be left to his retirement and nobody should try and drag his name into this. This is not about him at all.
Mm-hmm. Gaul has called on the resignation of the Archbishop Spiridon, and I believe there was a deadline of May 1st that the organization had set for his resignation. What's the newest, I would say, position on the request for resignation?
Well, we had a conference in Chicago, and over 450 people paid their own way to come. It's almost as many delegates as came to the Clergy Lady Congress that were paid by their parish. And it was that conference that set that deadline. The deadline was we wanted to have some sort of response to our concerns by May 1st. And if we got no response, then the conference that we had called upon us as a board of directors to ask for the Archbishop's resignation or reassignment. We wrote to the Archbishop, we wrote to the Patriarch, we got no answer. The conference was in March. We got no answer by May 1st, not a peep. It was June 1st when we were finally invited to meet after we had done what our people had asked us to do and call for the resignation or reassignment. That hasn't changed.
Are you hoping that this will change soon? Do you have any signs that a door is opening for dialogue?
Well, now that the Clergy Lady Congress has come down in support of the reinstatement of those priests, I see some hope because it's now, nobody can say that it's 10 or 15 people with their own agenda. This is half of the church that wants these men reinstated. Well, the other half is loyal to the Archbishop and to his actions. The priests now, the 4 priests have written a letter, which is a very hopeful letter, asking for the Archbishop as a gesture of reconciliation and forgiveness to follow the Clergy Lady Congress's recommendation. So if he listens to that, there is some hope.
Some of your critics say that one of the goals of Gaul is to mess with the Greekness of the Orthodox Church, or split Hellenism and Orthodoxy. Hellenism and Orthodoxy has always been one. What do you have to answer to this?
That charge makes me very angry, personally. I send my children to Greek school. Greek was my first language, and that's the last thing that I'm interested in doing. I think that what's happened to this church since the new Archbishop came is that the homoienia has been divided, and that's a very dangerous thing for Hellenism. And I'm very frightened for the future of the unity of the homoienia, and I'm also frightened for the political ramifications and what this means for the country of Greece and Greek-Turkish relations. I'm very concerned about those things.
I'm glad to hear that, Judge. What is the best case scenario now in this crisis? What do you see as the best case scenario?
I see two wonderful opportunities. One is the Archbishop can listen to the Clergy Lady Congress, can reinstate those priests at the seminary, and can start over putting a new foot forward. He can do what the Congress has asked him to do in terms of the metropolitans and give them some voice on this charter commission. He can institute these financial reforms which have been recommended. This would be beautiful. People want to forgive, want to put these problems behind us. We are a church of redemption, of forgiveness. That would be the best scenario. The second scenario is if this doesn't happen.
Let's look at the worst case scenario.
If this division continues and if things get worse, then all we can do is hope that the Patriarch will intervene and will reassign the Archbishop. This has not been an easy ministry for him. It's not been a successful ministry so far. There are other positions that will be opening up in September, and we pray that if he cannot bring us together, that the patriarch will find some better assignment for him.
And if the patriarch doesn't find a better assignment, let's take the worst case scenario.
I'm not a. I'm not a.
Is there, what I'm trying to get down to, is there any thought of splitting or division or creating a new church?
Oh no, oh no. We've
Because
got to stay together.
Very good.
There's so few of us. We've got to resolve this. We've got to hope that God will find a way to move us forward and to use this crisis as an opportunity to bring us back together and to bring us, in the past, crises in the church have moved the church forward, and I've got to have faith that God is going to do that for us in some manner.
Judge Angelides, thank you very much for taking the time to come to our program. Our viewers appreciate your presence, and in the future, we may ask you to join us again to give us an update.
Thank you very much, Dimitri.